Hello, and welcome back to the Studio I podcast. I have been struggling all day, so now it's getting kind of dark. So I am recording with my glasses on my head, or the reflection from my lights is too much. But I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. And I know that I'm uploading on a weird day yet again, not on a Monday, but hey, I am posting between Christmas and New Year, and it's that weird limbo where nobody knows what's going on. So I think I deserve a medal for posting already. And I also wanted to mention, I don't know how it happened, but I all of a sudden have almost 1,000 people on this channel. I can't comprehend it. And I'm so grateful for every single person that subscribed to this channel. You are so welcome and you are making my dreams come true. So I really just wanted to thank you for being here. My cat is behind my PC and he's so angry that I'm recording and talking. He's so confused. Today I want to talk about reflecting on 2022. In this type of year, we tend to look forward all the time and we tend to be so busy with goal setting and intentions for the new year that we forget that we can actually learn the most from evaluating what we did last year. We can learn a lot from our past experiences because they prevent us from falling into the same mistake again and from getting stuck in the same loop again and again and again. You can set all the habits and goals and intentions that you want, but if you don't stick to them, you won't stick to them this year either. So by looking at what went well and what went wrong in the past year, you can actually learn how to do better in the upcoming year, and you can make sure that your 2023 will be a lot better than your 2022. Whether your 2022 was good or bad. So we're going to look at the good, the bad, the more fun things, the less fun things, all the things that you experienced this year. So take out your journal and let's get started with the questions. So the first question being, what was your essence of this year? What was the general theme of 2022 for you? For me, it was growth. For sure. I started a new job, I got a burnout from it, I then had to recover from said burnout, I took a leap of faith and I started this YouTube channel and my career as a freelancer, I saw that take off, and somewhere in between I moved 3 times with my best friend, my cat almost died. It was a hell of a roller coaster. So if I would have to pick a word, it is growth and maybe chaos sprinkled in there as well. But for you, it might have been a very relaxing year, or it might have been a year of travel or connection with friends and family. And then look at what your highlights were of the year. What are those things that you want to remember for years to come? What were those best moments of last year? And combined with that, what were your accomplishments? What were the things that you did in 2022 that you are proud of, that you really put in the work to make things happen? What did you do to make those happen? What is the reason that those things came to life? Those things are very clearly signs of the right actions that you can take to reach some of your goals. And then we're going to look at the things that didn't go so well. What were your low points of this year? What were your failures? It may suck to look back on them, but this is actually the part where we can improve the most, because things that already went well are really nice and you can keep on continuing them, but nice is already nice. If you look at bad experiences and failures and you turn them around and make good experience out of them, then your quality of life and your happiness level are going to improve tremendously, because you get the chance to make something bad into something good, which will lead to more good overall. For example, I totally failed at Project 50. I made a video about it a couple of weeks ago that I was starting Project 50, and I was so excited and I said that I could use a challenge to get back on track, but it made me fall more off track than I was on track to begin with. This guy is causing all forms of amok. So I wanted to start Project 50 and I was ready for that challenge, but I completely failed. And that made me realize that extreme challenges aren't for me and that they only make me stress out more. So then afterwards, I knew how to correct that and implement these habits in a more gentler way. Now I'm way more on track than when I finished trying to fit into the mold of Project 50. I worked way too much. I was trying to prove myself and I thought that it was in a field and a job that would make me super happy, and I ended up burning out. And from that, I learned the value of rest, the value of a non-toxic work environment. And I also just learned that my standards for myself were way too high. And I'm still learning that, by the way. I am still working all the time. It's for something that makes me super happy, so that actually gives me energy instead of taking it away. Look at those failures, and failures are still failures, and it still sucks, but you can also learn from them. So look at where life gave you learning opportunities and really dig deep into what you actually learned from them. And then you can almost start to get excited a little bit to see that those bad experiences and those bad habits, you can actually turn them around and turn them into something good. It is not necessarily your fault that you failed. It was just the approach that you took. So we often tend to look at ourselves and we tend to blame ourselves and say, I suck and I will never be good enough. Turn it around into my approach sucked, my method sucked. And changing a method or an approach is a whole lot easier than thinking that you have to change who you are and then having to change your values, because you are not the thing that sucked. You can just try a different way or a different path to try to reach what you are actually trying to accomplish. And that is not so hard at all. So look at what were the habits that you actually stuck with and what are the habits that you dropped. The habits that you stuck with, look at why you kept them up. Was it because you were highly motivated to do them, or was it because you took the right way to keep yourself motivated? For example, if you wanted to go to the gym all the time, did you actually make sure it was a gym close to your house? Did you have a designated moment to go to the gym? Did you have a plan? Those things can make it a whole lot easier to stay on track with your habits. And for the habits that you ended up dropping, there are several reasons, but the two most common ones are you had no motivation whatsoever to keep it up because it's actually something that didn't interest you. Like, for example, reading. Reading got super popular during the pandemic, and then we had the rise of book talk, and it seems like everyone is reading at least 100 books a year. So maybe you set yourself a goal of reading 50 to 100 books, but actually you don't care a lot about reading. You just feel like it's something that you should do. You want it to be part of that community, but it only takes energy away from you because you're worrying about a goal that you already have to motivate yourself so much for to do that it's way smarter to invest that energy into something that you actually want to achieve. For me, for example, it was my Instagram account. I really wanted to grow a fashion Instagram account, and into the middle of the year, I realized that I just wanted to be a content creator. It didn't have to be fashion. I just convinced myself that fashion was the only thing that I knew. Obviously isn't true. I redirected my course, I started Studio I, and now there's almost 1,000 people here, which is something that I have never reached before in 3 to 4 years of trying to grow a fashion account, because this is what I'm good at. I love fashion, but it's not what I can talk about the most passionately. Goal setting is, building your dream life is. And by putting all of that energy into this, I actually made something happen. So for those habits that you want to stick with, or that are shoulds but that we know that we actually should, like for example working out, you may have set a goal for yourself to work out every 5 days out of every week. I applaud you. That is a lot. I will never. But that's beside the point. If you really want to keep up that goal and you set a goal for yourself to go to the gym every day of the week and you didn't stick with it, then you can go and look at why you didn't stick with it. Didn't you stick with it because your gym was too far, or you need to make actual time to go to the gym? Or was it because you just hate going to the gym altogether? And do you actually need to try tennis or volleyball or running instead? There's a whole lot of different ways that you can change the way you approach a certain habit. So really look at what didn't work and then dig deep into why that didn't work, so you can start turning it around into something more positive. And that combined with taking all the energy you're putting into goals and habits that aren't actually your passion will make sure that you will take heaps forward in 2023, and you will create your dream life much sooner when you really focus on doing it right. And then, as a more general point and a general question that we often forget to ask ourselves at every single New Year's is, how did you change? How are you different today than you were at the beginning of the year? And do you like that change? Because maybe you like it. Maybe you're like, yes, I had so much growth. I connected with myself. Keep going on that high. Congrats, keep going. But if you don't like the change that you see, now is the time to change it. And by asking every single year, or even every single month, if you want to go hardcore, do I like the changes that I see in myself? You can correct your path before it is too late. Now is the moment to create strategies to see how you can revert that change that you didn't like. But remember that change doesn't happen in a day. I know it feels like it. When the year goes back to January 1st, it feels like we all reset and that we can start over again. But sadly, that's not how it works. If you try to go all in on January 1st, you will probably burn yourself out and fall back into those bad habits that you are trying to get rid of. Slow and steady really wins the race here. Implement the changes step by step by step to become that person that you want to be. Don't try to force yourself into a skin that isn't yours yet. You need to get used to it. Implementing change isn't that hard. Sustaining it is, and by allowing yourself that adjustment period to every single form of change, you will make sure that it's a lot easier to sustain than when you just go cold turkey. And don't get me wrong, there are success stories of going cold turkey, but for most people it just isn't the right approach, and you will need a little time, a couple of weeks, a couple of months to get back to where you want to be, depending on how big of a change you want to make. And then let's close off with some fun things again. Sandwich method. Fun, less fun, fun. Always great. Now it's time to make a time capsule, something to look back on in years to come. So start by collecting all the moments, things, people, music, food, recipes, everything that mattered to you, and put it all together in one big time capsule. Like that feeling when you go back to your house where you used to live as a kid and you find a journal from when you were 7 or 10, and it feels so nostalgic and so nice to read again. You can still make that every single year, and I'm actually going to do that in my upcoming videos. So if you want to see that, stick around. Really look at even life events that mattered. I mean, 2022 we will remember for the war in Ukraine and things like that, but we will also probably remember it as the year that everyone went crazy over Taylor Swift's Midnight album, and for Harry Styles with Love on Tour. And those things, when you read them again, they will immediately take you back to that period in time. And if you are making this online, you can do more than just writing it down. You can add a link to your Spotify Wrapped, or you can add pictures and videos of moments, links to your favorite TikToks. Whatever it is, just put it all together and keep it in a safe place so you can look back on it whenever you feel like and whenever you need a reminder of where you came from. And then to wrap it all up with a nice little bow, I have one final exercise that really helps me to put into perspective what action steps I actually need to take. And it is the start, continue, stop exercise. So you're going to make 3 columns, 1 start, 1 continue, and 1 stop. And you're going to put all the habits and behaviors that you want to start doing in the next year, the things that you want to continue doing, and the things you want to stop doing. And to make it even more effective, look at your stop doing and start doing column and replace the things that you want to stop doing with things that you want to start doing. Because replacing in habits is a lot easier than it is to just omit a habit altogether and to just resist temptation. So when you catch yourself eating candy again, you can think, I know I wasn't gonna do this anymore, I need to eat some fruit. And you can make that switch instead of just denying yourself the candy. It's a bad example, but you get the point. So I hope that helped, and I hope that made things clear for you. And if you like this episode, you will probably like my other content as well. So I will link either my YouTube channel or my podcast episode down below, depending on which channel you are watching on. And I will also link my social channels and the ultimate tool if you really want to start your year off great. I have a Dream Life workbook that is currently on sale for 15 euros. It's an over 60 pages long workbook that will help you figure out who you are, where you want to go, and then it will help you break down all of those goals into small actionable steps so you can actually start building your dream life today. A little self-promo, but I'm actually really proud of that ebook, and I think that it will help you out a lot. I really hope that you liked this episode. If you did, please subscribe, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!